Hi folks, today we're going in to collect a drop rig that I set up last night. I couldn't show you the process because it's in the main part of the park and there were people wandering around. I didn't really want to stop and talk. I just found my chance, got in, set it up and left. So this is the type of area we're in. We're in the central part, the main part of the Padarn Park. And here you can see like major footpaths, signpost marker for a footpath. What they tend to do is they zigzag. They go up to there and then there's another path going across there, and there are multiple of them. So you basically zigzag your whole way up the side of this steep wooded hill. So let's walk on a bit and I'll explain what's going on. Right, it's April, and if you watch my last video where I set up a drop rig, I basically explained that we're trying to maximise the recording over the migration time. So winter birds are leaving, summer birds are arriving. Now in the last recording that I had, we have willow warblers, so they've turned up, but I also heard a redpoll, so that's a winter bird that's still here. So it's definitely a crossover time. Now as I was walking in towards here today, down past the buildings at the lower end, I could see house martins flying around. I was at the coast the other day and there were sand martins around. So the season is definitely changing and the migration is definitely on the way. This is a bit steep here. Whew. Right. This is the trail that I want. So here we got old quarry buildings, all historic, industrial, and this area has been awarded World Heritage status, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this recording, to have as an archive before we get absolutely swamped. So someone in the future, maybe in 5 years' time, can use this archive to see what the bird life was there at that time and compare it to what it is at their time. But now we're getting a really good idea of what birds are here right now. Now I'm quite surprised in some of the recordings we got, because we got Greylag geese and they're actually coming into the woodland. There's like a quarry hole over there with a pond in it. Which means the geese have kind of noticed that no people go in there because the door's locked and they're just staying in there. Safety, which is understandable. Right, let's head along this path so we can get to where the drop rig is. Got to try and remember where it is. I think I do. It's on a turning and there's a bit of a rough slate cut in. See, walking signposts, strange looking trees, or remains of trees. And we have a look at the big oaks here, you can see all the holes. So these trees here, they're absolutely full of little holes in them. And that's where all other woodpeckers and blue tits and other types of birds that make their nests in tree holes are nesting at the moment. So I noticed the weather would be around 15-mile-an-hour winds last night. That's why I set up the rig. There was an over 50% chance of rain. I mean, it looks and feels as if it could rain now, but it's holding off. And I think it's been like that all night. Some of the gusts of wind are going over 30 and sometimes it drops below 10, but it's averaging between that 15-20 mark. Now let's keep going. So that weather and wind is acceptable. Hopefully we can get a reasonable recording. Remember, the idea is to note as many birds as possible in the whole of the Padarn Park. So that's why I'm over on this bit rather than on the previous bit. It just builds up a picture Remember we were saying that different parts of the park have different characteristics and geology, and therefore there'll probably be different types of bird life in them. Mostly the same, but one or two changes. Now this is the place I need to be. So the drop rig, I can actually see, and there's a bird flying right. There's a bird pulling on one of the wind protectors right now, probably getting some of the fluff off for a nest. So you won't be able to see it in this. I can see it. Ah, it's a blue tit. Right, okay. If you were pretty switched on and aware, you'd probably see these clippies on the tree. But most people wouldn't. They're totally unaware of what's going around them and probably looking at their phones. If you remember, we walked in on a track, and that's just down below there at the bottom of the trees. Now if you looked up here, you'd be able to see me quite clearly. So when you're setting up a drop rig in this, you can see it from both a top path, you can see it from both the top path, the woodland in between the lower path. And normally a lot of people will come through here. I mean, holiday season's over, so there's not so many, but there are still people coming through, and they'd be able to see your drop rig from either path, either lower or the upper. So one of the reasons why I chose this site is because the upper path is beyond the view of where the drop rig is here. I currycombed around last evening looking for something just like that, which means the drop rig can be seen from down here, although it's hard to see and you'd have to be really switched on. And from above, you wouldn't see it from the path that's way up beyond there. Now there is a track, you can see here, animal tracks. This is where the goats come through, and I'd imagine badgers and other animals would be through as well. I mean, there's loads of squirrels in here, but the path is made by goats. Now let's head on in to get the drop rig, see whether it's still switched on and working. Scramble up over this rough ground, heather, bilberries, moss. If we look up to the drop rig now, the right hand side one, there's a blue tit pulling out the fluff from one of the wind protectors. Oh, there we go. See the hole in the top? It's actually made it bare. Another bit there. What about the other one? So I can't really see anything on that. So, there we go. We're going to need a new wind protector. Drop rig camouflage, debatable. From a distance it kind of works. Up close you can see it's made. It's very unlikely anyone's going to walk up through this. The only thing that really shows itself here are the microphones around the tree. Right, let's see if it's still recording. Power bank still on, 76%, that's good. That's normally an indicator that the recorder is still going, which it is. I'm going to dismantle this now and head off home. I'll put the hour before and after dusk and dawn recordings in the Padarn Park playlist. And if there's anything interesting, I'll leave a few snippets at the end of this video. It's just starting to rain, so I'm going to get on with it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.